Okay, good morning to everybody. This is Pandian, Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Erode Secondary Engineering College, Perundurai. Today we are going to discuss about the cogeneration. So the contents of the presentation is we are going to discuss about what is cogeneration, the need for cogeneration, the principles of cogeneration, then cycle analysis of the cogeneration, then applications of the cogeneration. So these are the topics that we are going to discuss today. Yes. What is cogeneration? See, it is the combined generation of heat and power. In conventional thermal power plant, the efficiency is only 35%, and remaining 65% energy is lost. So the major source of loss in the conversion process is the heat rejected to the surrounding water or air due to the inherent constraints of the different thermodynamic cycles employed in the power generation. So normally for thermal power generation that we are using the Rankine cycle. Okay, and this is the thermal power plant. Okay, so it has the pulverizer where the coal is pulverized into the powder form, and it is supplied to the, that is a boiler. Okay, where the ash is collected in the ash copper, and the heat generated due to the burning of the coal is used to convert the water into steam. So that what that steam is taken, okay, that steam is taken to the turbine where the heat energy is being converted into mechanical energy, and that mechanical energy is being converted into electrical energy by coupling the alternator with the turbine, and then the power generated is distributed to the through the distribution systems. Okay, and the exhaust steam from the turbine is taken into the condenser, so where it is converted into liquid water, so by means of circulating the makeup water or the cold water from the cooling tower, and the water that has been circulated to the condenser takes away the heat from the exhaust stream, and that makes the condensate into liquid form, and the hot water, that is the heat absorbed by the hot water, is taken into again to the cooling tower for recycle purposes. Okay, and that the condensate is taken to the feed water pump where it is pressurized, and then the pressurized water is taken into the boiler again for conversion into steam. Okay, so here the hot gases produced in the boiler is taken into the precipitator, because there are two types of the ashes. One is the bottom ash and another one is the fly ash, and the bottom ash will be collected in the ash copper, whereas the fly ash along with the gases that is going through the precipitator, where there is a powder form of the gases, that is a powder form of the ashes will be collected in the precipitator, and only the gas is allowed to pass through the chimney. And again here, the through the chimney the hot gases are leaving, and majorly the hot gases will be at the of the temperature of around 300 to 400 degrees Celsius. Such amount of heat energy is lost through the chimney. And again here the exhaust steam that is also containing that so much amount of heat energy, so that can also be tapped for some other useful purposes. So that is the, okay, here in the case of the thermal power plant, the main aim is to produce the electrical power, and the sub aim or the okay, the other part of that energy is to make use of the heat that is being lost without any useful purpose. Okay, so that is the cogeneration. So here the principle of cogeneration is, it is a generation, cogeneration or the combined heat and power is defined as the sequential generation of two different forms of useful energy from a single primary energy source. So typically mechanical energy and thermal energy. Okay. So mechanical energy may be used either to drive an alternator for producing electricity, or rotating equipment such as motor, compressor, pump or fan for delivering the various services. Whereas the thermal energy that can be used for either direct process applications or for indirectly producing steam or hot water or hot air for dryer or chilled water for process cooling. So here the main principle is we have to make use of the energy that is being lost, along with that the hot gases. Okay, it is leaving the hot gases. Then there are different technical options for the cogeneration. There is the extraction of steam from the back pressure steam turbine. Okay, extraction steam turbine or and then the back pressure steam turbine. Then the next one is the gas turbine with the heat recovery boiler with or without bottoming the steam turbine. Then under reciprocating engines with the heat recovery boilers. So these are the various options available for cogeneration. So as I told you earlier that the cogeneration is nothing but the combined generation of heat and power. Okay. So in short, it can be called as CHP. So now let us see one by one. What is that? The extraction or back pressure steam turbines. So here, the specific advantage of using the steam turbine in comparison with the other primer is an option that is using for using a wide variety of the conventional as well as the alternative fuels such as coal, natural gas, fuel oil, and biomass. So that is the main advantages of the this steam turbine being used as a prime mover. Okay. So compared to other prime movers, that the steam turbine can be make use of because in that the any kind of fuels can be used. Okay, it can be make use of the either conventional or alternative fuels. And here you can see that it is a back pressure turbine. So back pressure turbine means here the steam is allowed to expand in the turbine fully, and then the exhaust steam from the turbine is taken to that for further processing applications, and then it is passing through that the boiler for again the next cycle of operations. So here this is called the back pressure steam turbine. Okay, this is called the back pressure steam turbine. Whereas here you please see it is extraction conduction steam turbine. So extraction conduction steam turbine means here the steam that is allowed to expand in the turbine is partially allowed to expand fully, and the for some quantity of the steam is being taken midway, okay, and it is used for some processing applications. So that's why it is called the extraction and condensing turbine. So here some quantity of the steam is being extracted in the midway of expansion process in the turbine, and that is used for some processing applications, and the rest of the steam is made to expand fully in the turbine, and that the exhaust, after that the exhaust steam from the turbine is being taken to the condenser where it is converted into liquid form, and that liquid is again taken to that the pump for pressurization, and then it is being supplied to that the boiler for further processing application, okay, for further conversion into steam. Okay, so this is the this type of turbine is called the extraction condensing turbine, whereas here it is called the back pressure turbine. Okay, so there are two types of the steam turbines. One is called the extraction condensing steam turbine. Another one is called the back pressure steam turbines. So then the next type of the option is the gas turbine with the heat recovery boiler. So gas turbine, as you know that this is called the external combustion engines. So why we call it as an external combustion engine means here even the thermal power plant is also called as the external heat engines, because here for compression purposes, okay, and then the expansion purposes we use the different equipments. Okay, that's why they are called the extraction combustion engines. Okay, so here in the case of the gas turbines, so we are making use of the three components. One is the compressor, and another is the combustion chamber, and the next one is the turbine. So air is initially drawn from the atmosphere, and then it is taken to the compressor. Okay, and where it is compressed to high pressures, and here the temperature is also high at the end of the compression process. So that hot air at high pressure and high temperature is taken into the combustion chamber where the fuel is being supplied. Okay, and that the fuel, since already the air is at the very high temperature, so immediately on injection of the fuel it gets burned. Okay, and then the hot gases are produced. That hot gases are taken out from the combustion chamber, and then it is supplied to the turbine. So here the gases are undergoing the expansion process, and because of that the mechanical energy is being produced in the turbine, and since that the turbine is coupled with that the generator, okay, directly, so here that the electrical energy is being produced in the generator, and after the expansion process the exhaust gases are leaving out of the turbine, and they are coming to that the heat recovery generator, or we can call this a heat recovery steam generators. So where it is used to, okay, where it is the water is being supplied, okay, water is being supplied, and that water is being converted into steam, and that steam is, though the pressure of the steam cannot be much sufficient to produce the electrical power, okay, whereas that steam is used for some processing applications, and after leaving, okay, after losing the heat to that the water, the exhaust gases, okay, that low temperature is entering into that the atmosphere. So here the gas turbine is equipped with the heat recovery boiler for the tapping of heat from the hot exhaust gases. Okay, so this is the another option for, again, in these two cases we found that the main purpose of the steam power plant, steam turbine power plant, or the gas turbine power plant is to produce the electricity, and then it's and okay, another useful option is to tap the heat from the hot gases. Okay, tap the heat from the hot gases. Whereas there, in the case of the steam turbine, that we are extracting the heat from the steam. Okay, for some processing applications. Okay, the next one is that the reciprocating engines with the heat recovery boiler. So we know very much about the reciprocating engine. So that is used in car or any heavy vehicles. Okay, so in that cases that we are making use of the reciprocating internal combustion engines. Why we call it as an internal combustion engine means, in the case of the external combustion engines such as thermal power plant and the gas turbine power plant, for various processes, the different equipments have been used. Like that is for compression of the air that we are using the compressor, and for there is expand for producing the mechanical energy that we are using the turbine. So and for combustion of the fuel that we have a combustion chambers. So there for every process or for every operations that we use the different components. So that's why they are calling us external combustion engines. But here that the compression process and the combustion process and the expansion process of the system, everything is taking place inside the engine cylinder. That's why they are called as internal combustion engines. Okay, so that internal combustion engine, again, it is used to produce the mechanical energy. Okay, as a major okay aim, and the sub aim is the heat that is available from the hot gases that is being used to produce the, okay, that hot gas is used to produce the steam for some processing applications. Okay, or either to produce not only steam, we can get the hot water from the exhaust gas heat. Okay, so this is the reciprocating engine cogeneration systems. So here the fuel is being stored in the tank, and that fuel is being taken into the engine. Okay, and here that we are making use of fuel, and air is being supplied, then that the hot gases are produced on burning, and then the hot gases, okay, it has been used to produce for engine heat recovery. Okay, we are making use of the waters. Okay, engine heat recovery too, and okay, so at different applications that we are using, and here the cold gases is being passed through the heat exchanger, and then that takes away the heat from the hot water from the engine, and again that is being converted into hot gases. That hot gases are used to take into that the heating of the water. So we are producing the hot water, and again that the cold air, again it is being circulated again for another cycle of operations. So this is how the reciprocating engine cogeneration systems are in place. Okay, with the heat recovery boilers. Okay, heat recovery boilers is, this is the heat recovery boiler, and this is the electrical motor, and for to produce the electrical energy. Okay, but normally in the case of the vehicles, that we are not producing the electrical energy, whereas we are making use of that energy produced in the engines for the propelling the vehicles. Okay, this is called the topping cycle cogeneration. So we have seen that the principles of the cogeneration. Now we are going to see that the topping cycle cogeneration systems. So first of all, let me discuss about what is topping cycle. So in a topping cycle, the fuel supplied is used to first to produce the power, and then the thermal energy, which is the byproduct of the cycle, and is used to satisfy the process heat or other thermal requirements. So topping cycle cogeneration is widely used and is the most popular method of the cogeneration. So normally this topping cycle cogeneration is being employed in all thermal power stations and as well as the gas turbine power stations. Okay, there we are using that these cogeneration systems. And in the case of the topping cycle system, so here we are in this topping cycle cogeneration system that I have given the cycle employed in the gas turbine power plant. Okay, so the air from the atmosphere is taken into the compressor where it is compressed. Okay, and the power required for compressing the air is or used to the power required to drive the air compressor is obtained from the gas turbine. Okay, gas turbine power plant, and that the compression process is taking place. So the compressed air is taken into the compression chamber where the fuel is being supplied. Okay, and the hot gases, there is a hot air and the fuel undergoes the burning process, and because of that the high temperature, high pressure hot gases are produced, and that high temperature, high pressure hot gases is taken into the turbine where it is expanded. Okay, where it is undergoing the expansion process, and because of that the mechanical energy is being produced. Okay, and the part of the mechanical energy produced is used to drive the air compressors, and the remaining mechanical energy is being used to drive the alternators. Okay, drive the alternator to produce the electricity, and then the hot gases, okay, that is leaving the turbine is taken into the heat recovery steam generator, so where it is used to produce the hot water or the steam in the heat recovery steam generators, and after losing the heat, the gases is taken away from the heat recovery steam generator, and it is passed through that is a chimney. Okay, chimney, and then it is leaving into the atmosphere. Okay, and then whereas here the steam that is being produced in the heat recovery steam generator is used to produce okay, if the temperature and steam pressure is sufficient, then it is used to drive the steam turbine of low capacity, and thus we can able to produce that the some quantity of power. Okay, and then the hot steam that is leaving the turbine is being taken to the condenser, so where it is being converted into liquid form, and that the liquid form of the water is again taken to the pump where it is pressurized, and then the pressurized water again is taken to the heat recovery steam generator for other applications. So here in the case of the condenser, the hot gases, okay, its temperature, that is the hot steam that is leaving the turbine will have some heat energy. That heat energy is being removed from the water by means of the water that is being circulated to the condenser. Okay, and this circulated water takes away the heat from the steam. So the hot, okay, this cold water takes away the heat, and thus it becomes hot water, and again it is taken to the cooling tower where it loses its heat to the air. Okay, and then this makeup water again is passing through the condenser for some next cycle of operations. So this is called the topping cycle. So in the case of the topping cycle, the main purpose is to produce the electrical energy and the steam. Okay, then the next one is that the heat with the help of the steam heat recovery steam generator. Again, that we are producing that some lower quantity of the power, and then the okay. So the heat energy is being fully extracted from the hot gases. Okay, hot gases, and again. So here mainly it is used for producing the power, and also with the help of the heat recovery steam generator also we are producing the power as a byproduct. So that's just called the topping cycle cogeneration systems. Then in this topping cycle cogeneration systems, so there are two types of the topping cycles. One is called the combined cycle topping system, and another one is called the steam turbine topping system. So what does combined cycle topping system means? So here the Rankine cycle is also being used, and as well as the gas turbine cycles is also being used. If such two cycles are being used, then we can call this as a combined cycle topping system. That means that, see, initially that we can make use of that is either a Rankine cycle to produce the electrical energy, and then the hot gases leaving from that, the steam power plant is being used to, okay, I used to drive the gas turbine power plant, and you know that the gas turbine power plant is operating based on the Brayton cycle, and thus we can call it is a combined cycle topping system. Okay, so where a gas turbine or a diesel engine producing electrical or mechanical power, followed by a heat recovery boiler to create steam to drive a secondary steam turbine. Okay, this is called the combined cycle topping system. The next one is the steam turbine topping system. So where the second type of steam system burns fuel anytime to produce a high pressure steam, and that then passes through a steam turbine to produce the power which the exhaust provides low pressure process steam. Okay, that's why these are the two types of the topping cycles. Okay, combined cycle topping system and this steam turbine topping system. Then next one is the gas turbine topping system, where a natural gas turbine drives a generator. The exhaust gases goes to a heat recovery boiler that makes a process steam and the process heat. So what we have seen in this diagram, okay, so this is called the gas turbine cogeneration systems, or we can call it as gas turbine topping system. Then the last type employs the heat recovery from an engine exhaust and or the jacket cooling system flowing to a heat recovery boiler, where it is converted into process steam or hot water for further use. These are the four types of the topping cycle cogeneration systems. So first one is the that is a combined cycle topping system. Next one is the steam turbine topping system. Then next one is the gas turbine topping system, and the last one is that the IC engine topping system. Okay, IC engine topping system. Then next one is called the bottoming cycle cogeneration system. So in the case of the bottoming cycle cogeneration system, our main purpose is to produce the steam for some process applications, and we are producing the power as a byproduct from the power plant. Okay, that's why this is called the bottoming cycle cogeneration system. So here you please see, in a bottoming cycle, the primary fuel produces high temperature thermal energy, and the heat ejected from the process is used to generate the power through a recovery boiler and a turbine generator. Okay, so here the diagram shows that it is a bottoming cycle cogeneration system. So initially that the we are producing the steam for some processing applications, as in the case of the paper industries, or in the case of the sugarcane industries. Okay, so the main purpose of the power plant is to produce the processing steam. Okay, steam at a high pressures that is used for some processing applications, and then the steam that is leaving the processing applications is used to produce the power. Okay, and that power that is being produced in such power plants are not distributed through the distributor line for the commercial usage, whereas it is used to meet out the energy demands or energy requirements of the own industry. Okay, own industry. That's why they are called as a bottoming cycle cogeneration systems. So the technical parameters used in the cogenerations are the heat to power ratio. Okay, so the ratio of the thermal energy to electricity required by the energy consuming facility. Okay, so the ratio of thermal energy to the electricity produced or electricity required by the energy consuming facility is called the heat to power ratio. Okay, and so here we have different types of the cogeneration systems. Okay, that is a back process steam turbine, then extraction condensing steam turbine, and then the gas turbine, then the combined cycle, then reciprocating engine type. So in all these cases, what is the heat to power ratio? So in the back process steam turbine, the heat to power ratio ranging from 4 to 14.3, whereas the power output in kilowatt is 14 to 28 kilowatt. So overall efficiency of the power plant can be enhanced to 84% to 92%. So whereas in the case of the extraction type condensing steam turbine, so the heat to power ratio is only 2 to 10%. Okay, 2 to 10, whereas the power output in the range of 22 to 40 kilowatt range, and the overall efficiency can be enhanced from 60 to 80%. So in the case of the gas turbine power plant, Okay, the heat to power ratio is 1.3 to 2, and the power output in kilowatt is 24 to 35 kilowatt, and the overall efficiency ranging between 70 to 85%. So, whereas in the case of this combined cycle power plant, okay, combined cycle power plant, the heat to power ratio is 1 to 1.7, and the power output in kilowatt is 34 to 40, and the overall efficiency ranges between 69 to 83%. Whereas in the case of reciprocating engine, so the heat to power ratio is from 1.1 to 2.5, and power output from that reciprocating engine cogeneration system is 33 to 53 kilowatt, and the overall efficiency can be from 75 to 85%. So these are the various prime movers used for the cogeneration. So already I have discussed about this. So here some more information can be heard from it. So in the case of the back pressure steam turbine, the steam exits the turbine at high pressures than the atmospheric. Okay, the leaving steam from the turbine will be at high pressures. So that high pressure steam, okay, so it is used for some applications. Okay, that is for some processing applications, and then it is used for recycling. Okay, recycling process. So the major advantages of the back process steam turbine is it is a simple configuration and a low capital cost and a low need of that is a low need of cooling water and high total efficiency. So the disadvantages that the larger steam turbine. Okay, larger steam turbine. The next one is the extraction conducting type steam turbine. So here the steam obtained by extraction from an intermediate stage. So remaining steam is exhausted. Okay, exhausted at the end of the expansion process. So relatively it requires high capital cost and a lower total efficiency. Okay, whereas in the case of the back process steam turbine, it is a simple configuration and it requires the steam turbine will be of the larger in size, but it doesn't require any major investment. Okay, because it is there everywhere. So this is the extraction condensing type steam turbines. Then we can have a gas turbine as a prime mover. So the diagram that we already seen also. So that is the air from the atmosphere is drawn into the compressor, and it is the high pressure and temperature air is taken into that the combustion chamber, or we can call this compressor, where the fuel is being admitted, and the air and fuel undergoes the combustion process, and because of that high pressure and high temperature hot gas are being produced, and that is allowed to expand in the turbine. Okay, that is allowed to expand in the turbine. So during the expansion process, the mechanical energy is being produced. That mechanical energy is being converted into electrical energy by connecting the generator with them, and then the hot gases, that is the leaving turbine, is taken into that the heat recovery steam generator, where the water is supplied and the water gets heated up, and because of that the steam is produced. That steam is used for some processing applications, and then the condensed water from the process is taken. Okay, and then condensed water is again circulated into the heat recovery steam generator for further extraction of the heat from the water, and then after losing the heat to that the water, the gases are let into that the ambient. So this is the gas turbine as a prime mover. So the next one is the reciprocating engine as a prime mover. So that we already discussed about this also. Okay. So here the engines is there, and the engine here the fuel is supplied, and the air is also supplied, and then the air and fuel is undergoing the compression process during the compression stroke, and then the power is produced, and then that is the mechanical energy is produced. That mechanical energy is undergoing the expansion process during the the hot gas are produced. That hot gases are used to convert the heat energy into mechanical energy. That mechanical energy is being converted into electrical energy by means of connecting the generator. So electricity is output is taken there, and here for maintaining the stability of the engine, the water is circulated. Okay, water is circulated through the engine jackets, so that water is taking absorbing the heat from the engine surfaces, and thus it become a hot water. That hot water is taken into that the heat recovery or unit or the steam generator, where the steam is produced, and then the okay, and then the hot water of the steam output is taken into the absorption chiller, and then the heat is after removing that heat, okay, and again the water is being produced and it is pressurized and it is again taken to that the engine jackets for absorbing the heat, okay. So this is one kind of heat absorption, and then the exhaust gases will be at high temperatures. So that is taken into the duct burner, okay, where the auxiliary fuel is being supplied, and this again the hot gas are being produced. Okay, the high temperature hot gas are being produced, and that is again it is passing through the heat recovery unit. Okay, where the heat is in the exhaust gas are fully absorbed, and then the hot gases are again taken to the desiccant system, where again another auxiliary fuel is being input, and again so dry air is also admitted, and that is being, okay, that is moist air is being supplied here, and that moisture in the air is being removed, so only the dry air is supplied, okay, and here the burning process taking place, and again it is, and then the exhaust gases are let into the atmosphere, okay. So like that, we are making use of the reciprocating engine as a prime mover in the cogeneration systems. So these are the relative merits of the cogeneration systems. There is a variant and advantages and disadvantages. So variant means the different types of the cogeneration systems. So first in the organ is the back pressure steam turbine. So the main advantages is the high fuel efficiency rating, because from the same fuel that more amount of energy is being recovered. So that is why we call it as a high fuel efficiency rating. And the disadvantage is the little flexibility in design and operations. The next one is the steam turbine and the fuel firing in a boiler. So it is a simple plant and well suited to low quality fuels. So because in the case of the steam turbine plant, we can make use of any kind of fuels, okay, and that is it can be from lignite to the anthracite or so bituminous coals, okay, that can be burned. So coals of the different calorific value can be burned in the thermal power plant. Okay, that's why we call it as a steam turbine and a fuel firing and boiler. And but it requires a more capital investment, but low fuel efficiency rating and a high cooling water demand and more impact on the environment because of the hot gases are let into the atmosphere, and the high civil construction cost due to the complicated foundations. And the next one is the gas turbine with the waste heat recovery boiler. It is a good fuel efficiency, simple plant, lower civil construction cost, less delivery period, less impact on the environment, high flexibility in the operations. Because mainly gas turbines, power plants are making use of the gaseous fuels. Okay, so gaseous fuels. So since the gaseous that is fuel is available in the gaseous form, so there can be a better combustion process, and because of the improved combustion, so the hot gases that is will be of high quality, and thus it requires a very simple construction cost. And here the major disadvantages is that the moderate part load efficiency. At full load, its efficiency is good, whereas at the part load, the efficiency will be moderate, and a limited suitability for low quality fuels. Because only we can make use of only the gaseous fuels in the gas turbine power plant, and for other form of the fuels, this gas turbine power plant is not suitable. That's why it has given limited suitability for low quality fuels. Then next one is that it is a combined gas and steam power plant with the water heat recovery boiler. So it is a optimum fuel efficiency rating and a low relative capital cost, less generation period, gestation period, and a quick startup and stoppage, and less impact on the environment, high flexibility in the operations. So, but the only thing is that it is average to moderate part load efficiency, so limited suitability for the low quality fuels, similar to the gas turbine power plant. Okay. Then the next one, it is a diesel engine and a waste heat recovery boiler and the cooling water heat exchangers. So this one doesn't find major applications. Only in the case of diesel engine that is employed to produce power in the multiplexes. Okay, So there we can get some additional energy from the engines. Whereas in the case of the conventional, that is in the from that is that is the engines used in the vehicles cannot be used for cogeneration systems. Okay, so it is a low civil construction cost due to block foundations and least number of auxiliaries and high power efficiency. So better suitability as a standby power source. That's why I am telling. Okay, it is a better suitability only as a standby power source. So it's a low disadvantages are low overall efficiency. So limited suitability for the low quality fuels, availability of low temperature steam, and highly maintenance prone. Okay, because it requires a major, its running cost is more than the investment cost. So these are the different merits and the demerits of the cogeneration systems that is being employed. Then the next one is that the applications of the cogeneration systems. So as I said earlier, the cogeneration systems are much familiar in the case of the processing industries like petrochemicals, fertilizers, sugar industries, textile industries, paper industries, and then the man-made fiber, pharmaceuticals and drugs, and the food and dairy farms, and district heating and cooling. Occasions, then the hotels, hospitals, shopping complexes, software technology parks. So there they are employing the cogeneration systems. So mainly that the cogeneration systems are employed in the processing industries, but also nowadays it is being applicable in the power plants too. Okay, power plants too. So with that, let me come to the end of the it is cogeneration systems that has been used in various applications. Okay, so once again we will quickly see that the contents of the cogeneration system. So the what we have seen that what is a cogeneration system? Cogeneration system means it is a combined generation of the heat and the power, and it has been found applications in the power plants, okay, thermal power plants, and as well as the other power plants, gas turbine power plants, even nuclear power plants. Also, they are employing that the cogeneration systems. Okay, and then we have seen that what are the two different cycles. One is called the topping cycles, and another one is called the watering cycles. So, topping cycles means where the primary job is to produce the electrical energy, and okay, and the secondary product from the power plant is to produce the steam for some processing applications. And then the next one is that the okay, and then the next one is the bottoming cycles. So in the bottoming cycle, our main aim is to produce the processing steam for some processing applications, and then the byproduct of the steam is used to produce the electrical power. Okay, so that's that are those are the two types of the cycles employed in the cogeneration system. And there are many types of the prime movers are being used in the cogeneration system. One is the steam turbine prime mover, and another one is the gas turbine prime mover, and third one is the reciprocating engine prime mover. So again, in the case of the steam turbine prime mover, that we are using two types of the steam turbines. One is called the back pressure steam turbine, and another is called the extraction condensing type steam turbines. Okay, and we also make use of the gas turbine prime mover and also the extraction type the prime mover. And we have seen that the applications of the cogeneration systems. Okay, so I hope that you can understand the different concepts of the cogeneration, and also that the different equipments used for the cogeneration applications. So thank you very much for your patience hearing. So in the next class that we will discuss about the waste heat recovery systems. Okay, thank you for your patience hearing.